Hey guys, Mike here. So obviously CPI data came in way hotter than expected, which, let's be honest. I mean, I wasn't surprised. You shouldn't be surprised. I showed you what, energy, oil, and all that was doing, from April to May. It was increasing, right? And obviously, we look at this and you can see it right there. I mean, US made consumer prices up 1%, consensus is zero point 0.7, so we blew that away. CPI ex food and energy 0.6%, consensus was 0.5%, came in hotter than expected. Increased 8.6% from year over year, which is like the highest in 40 years. Core CPI up 6% year over year. And the year over year number, I don't really care about. It's really the month to month. We know it's going to be up year over year. No crap, right? But the CPI energy prices, which is just killing us, up 3.9%. Food prices up 1.2%. And then, of course, the real average weekly earnings are down negative 0.7% in May. And you can see in the market, I mean, the indexes, when I'm recording this right now, way down. The VIX is up double digits right now, as you can see. Man, it don't matter if it's small caps or large caps. Everything's down, and every sector's down. There's no place to hide today. Every single sector, including energy, is down. Some of them are down huge. So there is nowhere to hide today at all. And, the only person happy with this data has got to be Putin, right? I mean, look at him. He has to be ecstatic anytime he can see people in all the other countries suffering under this because, he has something to do with this. I mean, that's just the way it is. And of course, the market absolutely turned red as can be, and people are just holding on for dear life. And I'm sure the investor is like, oh man, here goes my money just burning up. And the only people happy are the short sellers, right? I mean, they are ecstatic right now. And, there's the chart if you want to look at it right there, month over month. You can see we did have a higher month over month back in March, of course, but, that's just kind of the picture right there for you to look at. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, guys, if you get something out of this. And just taking a real quick look at the categories of what's still increasing, what seems to be maybe finally flattening out here. Hopefully, we'll see on that. But, it's things that affect everyday Americans like us, right? So let's take a look at it. And when you look at this, obviously, food, we can see, I mean, you look at March to April, and then you look at April to May. And I mean, everything is just increasing, right? And so there was a decrease right there. Look, in meat, poultry, fish, and eggs. That's nice to finally see. But you go down to energy, and I mean, oh my Lord. I mean, look at some of these categories. Huge increases from April. I mean, honestly, I had to do a double take when I saw some of these. And I'm not surprised. I mean, we looked at the charts before, and I showed them to you. And so we shouldn't be surprised at all that this right here is what's weighing us down and continues to go up, and everybody's projecting it to continue to go up through the summer. And so we don't know if there'll be any relief on that one. But some of the other categories, if you look down here, you can see going to all items less food and energy, right? This is kind of what they call the core here. This is what the Fed likes to look at. You can see, I mean, new vehicles went down a little bit. Yeah. And then you had rent of primary residence kind of go down. Shelter in general increased a little bit, but not much. And then we go to medical, right? Medical was rising. And then now it seems to be, I don't want to say plateauing, but it's getting pretty close. If you look at these numbers month over month, even going back to March, you're not getting these huge increases anymore. And so obviously look at that drop right there in transportation services. That's way down month over month after popping up for the last few months. And then, of course, airfare for those traveling, didn't increase as much, which is good. And so we'll see how that trend continues coming out next month and August, stuff like that. But the truth is, I mean, when we saw the news yesterday, I think it was kind of, when the president's, chief economist, whatever, came out and said, it's going to be hot, and then stuff like this comes out. Rents across the U.S. rise above $2,000 a month for the first time in history. And then, of course, we set a new record on gas. Gas prices hit $5 for the national average, and then in California, it's an average around $6.40. Both those came out yesterday, and that is a big negative effect on consumers. And that's why what's really scary to me is there's a preliminary results from the University of Michigan talking about consumer sentiment. And we were at 58 in May, and we thought that was bad. The official report will come out June 24th. Look where it's at now, 50. 50. That is not good. Current economic conditions, 63 goes to 55. Index consumer expectations goes 55 to 44. And look at this chart. I mean, I think it says it all. To me, I'm not no expert, but that looks like a downtrend, right? I mean, look, that's where we're at. right there. Go back. This goes back to 2012. These are numbers you would see in a huge like 2008 type year or whatever. But look at that. I mean, that's not good. And the reason why that number is important is because it kind of shows, the confidence and everything we have in the economy, right? And it's going down and down and down. And, somebody in the comments yesterday, and I'll link this video at the end if you didn't see it yesterday, you need to see that video from yesterday, was saying, well, this is going to start affecting the lower income more. And I'm like, affecting? No, it's already there. I mean, if the lower income has already been crushed in the year of 2022. I mean, lower income folks, trust me, I grew up in a lower income household my whole life. There ain't hardly any savings, if any at all. Okay, so they're running up debt like crazy, just trying to keep their head above water. That's what happened. They're picking up extra shifts, probably getting 2 jobs. They're doing what they can just to keep it going. Now what's happening, the scary part is these numbers are starting to really affect the middle class, which make up the majority of society. When that starts happening even more and more and more, you can see it in the comments. Again, talk to people in your own life. You can see it affecting them and starting to drain their savings, and the middle class is starting to run up debt. Okay, and so that's when you can start having a problem if this just keeps continuing, and then companies have to start laying off. Okay, that's what we're looking for. That's that next shoe to drop, so to speak, right? And so that's why these numbers are important. And that's why it's important to stay up on this information, because I always tell people, hey, execute your plan, do your thing, but also be adaptable with your plan when it comes to these conditions, because we've never, let me stress that, ever, unless you were born probably in the 50s or 60s, been through this before, okay? Because the X factor that plays in no model is the inflation we're suffering now, okay? And again, also understand that, these commodities, they're going to fall off a cliff at some point in time. Nobody knows when, but it's just like lumber. You look at this chart right here. Oh, lumber's going through the roof because why? Everybody's buying houses, blah, 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 blah. And now what's happened to the demand for houses? They've fallen off a cliff because interest rates have gone up, prices have gone up, and look how fast commodities drop. It's so fast. And not only did it do it once, it's done it twice in the last 12 months. That don't mean it won't make a stage another comeback, but this is how it's going to happen when it comes to oil or any of the rest of them. Eventually, people just aren't going to be able to travel as much, and all this and all kinds of other stuff is going to come in there, and it's going to drive demand down, and boom, right? Oil, everything else is going to fall off a cliff, right? Don't mean it ain't coming back, right? When we say, oh, demand's coming back, but that's just how it's going to play out. Watch. I'm telling you, just watch. I showed you on the chart. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I'll put that video at the end too. That's just how it's going to happen. We just don't know when, right? And a lot of people are calling for it in August, September, October, somewhere in that time frame. We shall see if, because again, these high prices, they're going to continue to erode people's savings accounts. They're going to continue to run up debt, but eventually it's going to wear the consumer down. That's just the way it is, okay? So let's enjoy the sales we're getting at Target and Walmart, because they totally screwed their inventory system up. But as you saw today, what happened? We had a couple more companies come out with earnings. I sent this out to the members this morning. Feel free to sign up if you like those morning updates. And what was it? They went in and took down their 2022 guidance and lowered it, and one of them announced layoffs. That's just the way it is, okay? And so we'll see how this plays out. But, either way, try to enjoy your weekend the best you can. Nothing you can do about this, and probably don't want to look at your portfolio today, okay? So hope you have a good one, and I'll see you later.